Beautiful people of Earth. This is another edition of Geektastic Sci-Fi with our wonderful guest, Steven Voice.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
What poppin'? How you doing, man?
I just want to tell everyone that's watching right now that like we're late for it. Like we're late right now because we were literally having a show without the shit on. Like, we were talking about shit, and the whole time I was just like, yo, we should be on air right now. This is all legit dope material. So unfortunately to everyone, you'll never know what happened behind the scenes, but it was dope.
I'll say this to the geeks that know our show. If you guys tuned in on Mixlr, you heard some of it because the Mixlr is audio only. So if you were listening on the audio only stream that we have for the show, you heard some of what we were talking about. It's just that we didn't hit live right on the dot. But I see Lee J's tuned into the Mixlr, so shout outs to Lee J who's already tuned in. He knows what's up because I'm sure he was just like, oh, it's 6:30. They must already be talking. Okay. So shout outs to Lee J, and then yes, and shout outs to you know what? We've been doing so many birthday shout outs that I feel like we're just going to turn it into a segment. So if you guys know of anybody's birthdays that's celebrating these right now, but I want to give a shout out to my partner because it's her birthday coming up real soon. So I want to say a big thank you and shout out, and I care and I love you, and you've been holding it down. And during this pandemic, we're like, you know, this is part of what we were talking about before. Steven and I were talking about the fact that the pandemic has helped people realize some of the most important parts of their lives. And you know, being in the pandemic, you know, when things were a little tough on my end, my partner was just like, don't worry, we got this. So I definitely appreciate that and appreciate her. So to all those who've been sliding in my DMs, leave me alone.
Yeah. Hey,
leave me alone.
To your partner, real quick, I just want to say this to your partner. Happy birthday to you. There it is.
Yes, much appreciated. His face was great though. Yo, so how's everybody else doing? How you guys? What anything interesting happened in the last little week since we've been on last? Silent crickets.
I'm still trying to get composure from that DM comment.
I mean, we should talk about this in the news, but I feel almost like, actually, you know what? I won't skip. Let's talk about one of the first things I have on the docket. The first thing I wanted to talk about, because we do have a musician here, and I feel like it's a perfect opportunity because it's something I feel like I wanted to discuss before we even confirmed that Steven was going to be on the show, because I think it's really interesting. Can a musician retire? Tiana Taylor has come out recently and said she is retiring. In her case, she felt that she was underappreciated. That's why she announced her retirement. In other cases, we've seen people like Jay-Z, Diddy, a whole bunch of people say they were retiring. Some artists have actually retired. I mean, I feel for like example, Shine. I know people don't fuck with Shine the same way, but I always appreciated Shine as a rapper. That dude's running in politics in Belize right now. He's done. He's not making music. Like he legit moved on, got wifey, got the fam, and he's like doing politics over there. So, you know, it comes up, the conversation always comes up of like, can an artist really ever retire? And I mean, I'll give you my take. I don't think artists retire. I think they just move on to other projects or other ways of expressing themselves. And whatever form they were using at that point, they're just not, they won't necessarily be tapping into as much. And I think that's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree. I think as artists, I mean, for me, like music is like my number one. Like that's where that's my house. I live in music. But like since I started music over the last few years, I branched out to other things. I do acting now and all that stuff. Like for me, it's not just about creating music. It's about about expressing myself. I don't see myself ever retiring, to be honest. Like even if I stop releasing music for the world, I'll still keep recording for myself. I'll still keep, you know, so in that vein, I don't think artists ever really stop being artists. Like you don't turn it off. You don't just go like, you know what, I've sung my last song, I'm never gonna do it again. No, like I feel like artists are still always and forever artists, whether or not they decide to show that to the world anymore. That's a whole different story. What's his name, the rapper recently, Logic. I really love his stuff. Like Logic, he retired. Like he retired and he's moved on to Twitch. Like that's what he wants to do. Like, and I felt like, I don't know if he's necessarily done with the game forever, but it kind of feels like right now in his life, like he's made a decision that he doesn't want to do this anymore for his own personal reasons. And you know, in that perspective, I'm happy that he decided to walk away. If he felt that it was being negative, like if he felt there was he didn't like the direction his life was going as a cause of his as a cause of the craft, so he decided to walk away from it. Mm-hmm. But he may come back. You know what? So like I said, like you said before, it's, he also, you know, he transferred his craft. He went from music to, but he's still on Twitch. He's still in essence entertaining. So he's not letting go of the passion for creating. He's just moving on to another style or another venue.
I think it's I feel like sorry, Dave. I was going to say, I think it's more of a concept that they either do one of two things. Either A, they retire on a public format, but take a personal hiatus. Because at some point in time, I could only imagine that an artist would like still make their own songs for like, let's say family or friends at random. Where like, oh, I got a good beat in my head. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to sell it, but I'm going to give it to people. And or they just take a hiatus in general until they feel that they have something to truly give. Like I'm pretty sure it's Bruce Springsteen recently released a new album with his band, and he had been doing like, he had a band, then he had his own stuff, and for years he stopped. And then in the last year, he said that basically over a week period, he just got like the urge and the juice, and then made an album in a week.
Yeah,
and they released it now.
Oh shit!
So it was a retirement. It's probably just a hiatus. A mental hiatus.
Yep.
A recharge, maybe even? Is that one of the? I guess if any, a recharge. I would say maybe that's one of the things, right? Artists will say, "I'm retiring," but maybe it's just like, I feel like what Diddy and Jay-Z did when they said they were retiring was essentially just like a recharge. Like, I just kind of need to take steps back from this and not do anything. And I think I like what you said, Steven, about how Logic was more about transitioning that energy flow to something else. I mean, Skinny, you sometimes say that you took a little bit of a break. Did you feel like it was a mini retirement? Was it a recharge? Like, what was your sense of when you took that break for a minute from producing stuff and now you're back? From what I understand, you're doing a bit of production now, right?
It's, for me, it was my separation between, okay, I want to do this for like be all end all career. This is it. I want to like be famous from it. And then the break solidified that I was like, no, I want to just do this for fun. If what happens, happens, and I can still make music. And because we're in that realm where you no longer have to be like the celebrity doing this stuff anymore. You can legit like have your fan base, make your music, just do it through DSP, whatever, and just be you and chill. And that's that. Like, there's so many artists out there that do that right now, and it's quite beautiful where there's no real pressure to be like, you'll do your shows and you'll tour when touring comes back, but you can wholeheartedly have your career and still be your Clark Kent, and it won't make a difference. Whereas what I was gunning for before was like the late 90s, early 2000s, Just Blaze type of producer.
And
I wasn't, I realized that the industry itself, Steven, you can kind of speak to this. It's very much a popularity thing, and I wasn't really with that.
Yeah.
So
Do you, and I guess with the internet advent of like social media and stuff like that, has that kind of changed the whole game in the sense of the popularity contest? Because I know there are some people out there who, Skinny, what were you gonna say?
I was saying, like, yes, it has changed. You can continue with your point because I want you to finish.
Well, it was more just that I know sometimes the popularity aspect feels so over the top, and I feel like you were saying, like, I feel like some people chase it so much, and all the people that. So what was it that my cousin had on her? I can't change the people around me, but I can change the people around me. And I feel like when it comes to social media, that's one of those places where that's one of the most important things. Like, I can't change the people around me, the people in social media, but I can change who I follow and what I'm seeing and my feed and how I am interacting with social media. And one of my friends, Allie, shout outs to Allie Mason. She's like a kind of like a IG guru. And the other day she posted about how she went through her feed and was cleaning up her followers and I was just like, I never thought of the idea of cleaning up followers. I understand the idea of cleaning up who I follow, but she also mentioned like cleaning up followers and kind of like, you know, trying to, you know, make your, like, she was like cleaning out like spam and other things like that. And I was just like, oh, there's like a whole, she's like explaining like there's like a whole kind of symbiotic relationship in social media that behind the scenes people don't necessarily pay attention to, but if you do, you can learn how to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like all those things intertwine to connect with like, and that's why things like Teyana Taylor saying she's going to retire, I feel like I don't want her to retire. I love her music and I think she's a great artist. And it's sad to me that she felt underappreciated to the point where she's just like, I think I'm going to bounce, because that, you know.
I'm going to give an example that is so out of left field. They're going to be like, damn it, Steven, why did you bring it there? All right. So it's not about music, but it's about art in general. So Mia Khalifa is a good example. She quit porn.
Oh, great right? Example.
I brought it there. Stoya. Is this what's her name? What's the name? Sasha Grey.
Sasha Grey, yes.
She quit porn. She's now transitioned into, you know, mainstream, and she's doing other things.
She's
so I feel like
she has a great show on what's it called? I because I follow her on social media.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name of it right now.
She is one of those things.
She's a DJ. She's an author. Like that's the thing. Sasha Grey, like, is probably one of the best examples of someone who transitioned that energy into like a whole bunch of other things. That are definitely on a more mainstream level.
Yeah,
sorry.
And I feel like that's the power of today's world with social media, is that you can build a fan base on one platform or in one genre, one style, or whatever the case is, and you can decide like, hey, I've reached my plateau, and you can now transition into something else. Like you have that power, and I feel like it's relatively new as an idea. I mean, people have been doing that for so long, you know, going between music and film and all that stuff, but like. You have that much more power now where you as an individual, you can make changes to your career and not lose traction because you have a foundation. Because I feel like more and more people are understanding that it's less about following an artist for the product that they do, but following the artist for themselves and who they are. And then everything that they do, it no longer becomes like, oh yeah, he just released a song. It's just like, no, it's about, this is him. This is where he is now in his life. So I feel like it's more of a long-term followship, if you will, and your fans follow you to your journey. So I think, like you were talking about, you know, retiring from one thing, but it's you have this power to just transition to something else.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's the idea, because back in the day, the idea was like, if you have fans that follow you for this reason, don't switch it up because you're going to lose your fans. But you're right. I feel like social media and like the new followship, like you said, you were mentioning, that whole mentality really has more to do with, you know, being invested in the person and not necessarily just only in the art they're creating. I mean, I feel like podcasts, for example, Bobby Lee and Santino do this podcast that I like listening to, Bad Friends, and I think one of the main points that they talk about on their show. Oh, sorry, y'all, I'm making noise with my microphone. One of the main points that they make on their show is that people follow them on the podcast and then show up to their live shows and then do all this stuff, and that's more a reflection of people being interested in them and not just their comedy. And same thing, Sasha Grey, Mia. There's a whole, you're right. There's a long list of, artists, creators, people doing stuff like that. So,
You did it.
Me?
We did it. I mean, you did it with Fantastic Cypher and turning. You know,
that's that's fair. I didn't really even think about it that way. Like, but it's true. You know, from hosting a hip hop show and music show to hosting a geek show, and then the people that are supporting it that moved over with me. That's fair. And I mean, similarly with you, Skinny, like your whole action figure thing popped off. Like
it's amazing.
It's fun. It's fun to watch too, because I remember when I posted that picture of my cap collection, and you and you were just like, yeah, man, like we were both like on our cap thing, and then here we are now, we're both just completely toy geeks. Like,
yo, man, all them hats are in my basement, bro.
That makes me so sad. I still have mine at least hung up in my closet now, but
I don't have the room. Like the toys took over. Like,
I know. Really hey man, if those caps are
like show.
What? The toys over. Dope. What else do we have on the docket? We were talking about that. Oh, okay. So, Mr. Voice, Mr. Steven. One of the things that I know we wanted to talk about was gaming, the PS5, the Xbox launches. And you did mention scalpers, which Skinny might have a few choice words of his own to discuss on that, but
I just sold mine, like nigga.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm not even revealing how much, but I sold mine.
Oh no, come on, man. That's half the conversation.
You mean you had a PS5 and got rid of it?
Yeah, he said he was gonna flip the PS5. That was the conversation we had last time.
I wasn't there. I wasn't on that.
I wasn't ridiculous. I didn't do anything. I wasn't doing no 1500 type shit. No, but I'm not revealing.
I got you.
Did you make a profit?
Okay.
Is the sky blue?
Of course, he made a profit.
Yeah.
There you go.
He sold it below retail.
I know. James, are you crazy?
My bundle came with an extra controller.
Oh, okay. So that was definitely okay. That was definitely some money right there. Okay, so I'll real quick, I'll give my 2 cents on this whole thing. One of the things that my partner and I have been discussing is we both genuinely feel that the hype around the PS5 has more to do with the social media hype and people discussing it than it does with people actually wanting desperately to play a PS5. So I feel like if anyone is willing to pay the extra price, hey man, pay the extra price, because you guys are, you're fans, but you're also feeding into the idea that like, I need to have this console now. Whereas I feel like it won't hurt you to wait a couple months.
I know, man.
But I'm not a gamer.
Wait a couple months.
Yeah,
there's no way for me to wait a couple months.
You got both too.
Out there. Yeah, man. Yeah, I had to get both, man. I had to. But I'll say this, man. I refused.
Yeah.
And I feel there's nothing wrong with, you know, selling a console. I don't care, like whatever. My problem came with people buying hundreds or thousands and like just like this idea of creating a demand by taking away the supply and then being the only monopoly on the demand is horseshit. Like and using bots and like it's unbelievable. Like because I remember like I was lucky when the Xbox Series X came out. When it came out, I actually went to the stores, waited in line. I was like number 5 in the line. We were socially distanced. We walked into the store and they were like, "I'm sorry, we only had 4." So like you locked out, and I was so pissed off. I was so mad. I was so like, oh man, I can't believe this shit. I thought I was gonna get this. I got home and I went on Best Buy randomly, and I remember going on Best Buy. It was right around the time they had just received their shipment. So I went on Best Buy and they had it. So I just locked that shit in. I was lucky with the Xbox Series. PS5, holy shit, man. The day, like I was up all night waiting on my phone, refreshing and waiting. It came out in Walmart, Best Buy, like within a split second, they were sold out. Like they were sold out. And then so for people that waited that long to try and get this thing, to have people crash the site with bots so they can buy all of the systems and then sell them like a second later on eBay or whatever for like 2,000 is like.
I have a question. I have a quick question because I didn't know about this. Was the bot thing like a big thing? Because I'm hearing now so I just saw a post today where someone posted a picture of a PS5 and a controller, and they were selling the picture of the PS5 and the controller on eBay for $499, and it said, "Please read description." And the description had all the information saying, "This is a printed picture. If you are a human being, please do not buy this." And then it was essentially targeting bots, that if a bot bought it, that it would charge the $500 and they would mail you this picture, but you would have paid the $500 because it was someone trying to, I guess, like you were saying, Steven, kind of play out and balance and karma paying back the people who are buying up all these consoles. And I didn't know about the bots. I only learned about this today. What were what were people doing with bots? Like, how was this playing out?
They're just using bots to go in and act as people and automatically buy the stock. And it's just, you cannot compete with a machine. Like you can't compete with the speed. By the time you pull out your credit card, or like you already have your credit card saved up, by the time you put in your, what's that number? You know, that extra number in the back of the credit card, by the CVC, CV, whatever. By the time you put that shit in, they've sold out. Like, because I remember I was on Best Buy when the PS5 came out. I remember the add to cart option showed up, so I clicked it. I had it in my cart. I was putting in information. By the time I pressed, okay, confirm, it was sold out. Like it sold out while it was in my cart. Like, and this has been happening it's unbelievable. It's been happening nonstop. And at first,
this is the pre-sales though.
Yeah. No, this is not just the pre-sales. This is also actual sales. So like pre-sales sales, like right now, it's a nightmare trying to find one of these consoles. And I think why it really peeves me, because people have been using bots for a long time to buy all the stock. But like during a pandemic where people don't have the option to go into the store, how are you such a dick? Like, how are you such a dick during the pandemic of all things? And like, I was talking to someone about this, and they were like, Steven, it's just a video game. Like, what does it matter? It's just a game. Wait. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's just a video game. But 2020 has been shit. Like, 2020 has sucked so hard.
You're not wrong.
So if you have a little thing that can like put a little smile on your face, sure, it's exuberant and you don't necessarily need it. But like, it's like, gamers have been waiting for this shit for so long, and you have the audacity to use bots, buy all the stock, and then go on eBay and sell them for like I've seen people sell it for 3 times the retail price. Like, do you even understand business economics? Like, how the hell are you? So I've been telling people, if you try and get one if you can, hold off until all the stock is available. But don't give in to scalpers. Like, do not give in to scalpers. That is some bullshit.
I'm going to counter all of this, but
let's do it.
Counter it, because I'm not with the scalpers. I'm in between. I'm like that. Yeah, I'm the tweener Jedi. I'm not dark side. I'm not.
You're a gray. You're a gray.
Yeah, I'm gray. Yeah. So for everyone that wanted the PS5, all right, I didn't even want the PS5 like that. When did it go up for pre-order? You know this, Steven?
It was like September or something. Yeah.
Okay, they announced it. There was a flub. They messed up. It was supposed to be announced. Sony didn't announce it, so on. Me, Mr. I didn't really want it. My boss told me, hey, man, you should get a PS5. I'm like, I don't really want one. He's like, yeah, but just pre-order anyways. Even if you don't like want it, you could just sell it. I was like, So, again, not expecting to get one. Went on Walmart, got one. So if I got one, where was everybody else? Right? I pre-ordered off Walmart.ca. If I could get one, where is everybody else at? I don't understand that.
But see, that's the thing. It's like with the console launches right now, it's like it's either you go on the site and it's smooth sailing. Like when the Xbox Series X came out, like I said, when I went on Walmart, it was right there. I clicked it in, put in my information, I got it. Then I went online and I saw people going like, "Oh man, it sold out in 10 seconds. I don't understand." And I was just like, I was there going like, "How did you miss it?" Like I wasn't even trying. Like, I don't get it. But then
I wasn't even trying. And
I wasn't even trying. I was sleeping half the time. And then the PS5 was about to come out, and I was like, all right, cool. I had the same mentality that like, yo, people are out there just sleeping or something. Like, so I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna camp out like online and camp out, but I'm gonna get it. And then I couldn't. And I saw it over and over and over and over. Then I realized, holy shit, I fell into this small window of luck with the Xbox Series X. But like with the PS5, I didn't have that. I'm gonna tell you how I got the PS5. I didn't get one online. I was like, I gave up. Like I was like, I'm gonna wait till 2021. I'm sick of this shit. But then one morning I woke up and I don't know what came over me. I was just like, I'm gonna fucking call Shoppers. I'm gonna see if they have one. Just whatever. I called Shoppers and like, yeah, it turns out we just received like 5 last night. Like there's 5 and they're not out of the box yet. So, but like there's 5. And I was like, could you hold one for me? They're like, unfortunately we can't. And I was just like, bruh, I'm gonna be there in 10 seconds. I was there in 5. I was there in I took my wallet, put on a coat. I was wearing PJs. I don't give a fuck. I jumped in an Uber, got there. I got it. People are looking at me like, what the fuck is... I walk up to the person. I was just like, I came here for a PS5. She was like, oh, that was you on the phone? I'm like, yeah.
Shoppers, like, for those of you who don't know, the
Pharmaprix.
not convenience store, the pharmacy.
Yeah.
So in Montreal, for those outside of Montreal, we call it Pharmaprix, but shout outs to Steven for the Canadian name is Shoppers. And for our American friends, it's like if you called up CVS.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, CVS, I hear you guys might be getting a PS5. And they're just like, yeah, we can't hold it. So you got to show up, and you got one. That's one of the things I find crazy about it. Like the Shoppers, CVS, all these like smaller pharmacies that kind of fly under the radar. It's the same way like in Canada. For outsiders, we have Zellers, which was back in the day, and Zellers, had Zellers, and Zellers was like, I don't know, like a Target version, because I mean that's who bought out all the spaces, right? Less Target. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to describe it.
Not as fun.
Yeah, true. Not as fun as Target.
No, I mean Target is not as fun as Zellers. Zellers was
fun,
man.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I was gonna say, well, yeah, that's fair. Because the fact is, if you are a legit, like you grew up here and you got to hang out in Zellers when it was first popping, there used to be like the Zellers Diner, which you can have like actually mad decent food, and you had the Zellers card that got points. And anyways, Zellers is a throwback for us young Canadians. And yeah, they were low key like the spot to go to. Anytime all these Transformers you see here, half of my early collection was just Zellers. And on the low, Eaton's had a nice little secret section. Eaton's used to have a nice little secret section for action figures. I would find stuff. I'd go and I'd be like, oh man, I can't find this anywhere. And then I'd go into Eaton's and there's like 10 of them. And I'm like, yo, is no one fucking with Eaton's that way? Like, what's going on? But it was great. So
I used to do the same thing for action figures. I used to go to Eaton's. Because it was in the toy section, so I always felt a little weird because you're like a full-grown adult walking on his all these kids around. I'm just like, nah, man, I'm looking for some shit. Like this is not what it is. I ain't like that.
Oh man, yo, when I first started collecting, I was always walking around like, I wonder if my nephew would like this. Loud.
Unbelievable, they have it.
I used to fake being on the phone. I used to be like, "Oh shit, yo, baby, is that the one you want?" Yo,
oh, man.
Bunch of shy nerds you are.
It was easier to walk, like you felt less shame walking into, like, I don't know, the porn section of like Blockbuster than it was walking into the toy section of
the worst part is like I'd be fake on the phone. I had no girlfriend. I'm talking to nobody.
You get a call while you're doing it. It starts ringing in your ear. People are looking at you like
I won't press the button. You actually saw like my wallpaper, so like you knew. Now I'm at the point where like I walk into Toys R Us, I drop $100. The girl's like, "Would you like a gift receipt?" I'm like, nah, this shit for me.
Yeah, no, that is. Does it feel like shade when they ask you the gift receipt thing sometimes?
Yeah, it's like
yeah. I remember the first time someone offered me the gift receipt, and I was just like, "No, this is for me." And they looked at me, and I was just like, "Hey, yo, you need to cut that cut eye out. Get out of here. I got money."
The worst part is when they've been seeing you and they know it's for you. He's still gonna ask you, "Oh, is this one for you too, sir?"
Oh my god! Yo, shout out to my cousin though, because my cousin works at the Toys R Us, and now that's just my hookup. I'll call my cousin and be like, "Hey, yo, do you see this one?" And he's just like, "Oh yeah, they got like 3 of those." I'm like, "No, they got 2. Put one aside." So,
One of those?
He's my cousin. What? I'm not gonna reach out to family who got the hookup. Like, I mean, that's just what it is.
It is what it is, man. Connects, man.
Yo, I'm saying right now, if any one of us had a hookup at a Shoppers on the day, we all would have called somebody to be like, "Yo, when that PS5 comes in, just buy it from me real quick. I'll e-transfer you that money in 2 seconds."
Yo, when I got the PS5, I messaged all my friends. I was just like, "Yo, guys, keep shit on the low. But if you're on PS5, I got the hookup, my guy." I was like, "Don't tell nobody. You guys go get that shit."
What's the main game that you were looking forward to playing when you like heard that the PS5 was coming?
Oh man, well, there's like 3. Okay. Spider-Man and Miles Morales, like just because Spider-Man was so great, like on the PS4. What's it called? Horizon Zero Dawn was the Journey to the West. That one needs to just man. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to play it on the PS or Xbox, but Cyberpunk 2077, like that one. It comes out tomorrow? Is it
yeah, the 10th.
Yeah.
I have friends in one of my nerd groups who are doing the pre-download now, and it was 59 gigs. They're just like, man. Yo, make sure if you're buying this one that you get ready for the space it's going to take up. But yeah, he's
that game becomes a flop. I'll die after, because there's been hype for that game for like a year. It would be just hilarious. It was like the worst game ever.
Like a lot of the reviews so far have been like, like some people are like,
really?
they're saying it's not what people hyped it up to be.
Yeah,
so I'm a little scared because like I have my ideas about what I want it to be, and it's not that.
For me, so you guys have heard me say it before. To all the listeners who've heard me say it, I'll say it again. Doc Holliday is a sandbox serial killer. I don't play these games to play these games. I go into these games just to blow shit up. Watch Dogs 1, Watch Dogs 2, all of them, all those sandbox games. I play the game to beat it, and once I beat the game, I never want to play it again to play it. Like yesterday, I was playing Watch Dogs 2. I figured out how to get into the baseball stadium. I got myself into the baseball stadium. I used my little drone. I hit someone, the cop showed up, and then I just played Try and Catch Me Now. And it was great because when you're connected online, the game alerts other players and they have to hunt you. So now other players were in my game trying to figure out how to get into the stadium to kill me because they couldn't reach me. I'm inside the stadium, and there's a very specific way to get into the stadium, but none of them could figure it out. So I just watched all of them do it, and I just kept sniping them off as they and that was fun. That's how I played. So for me, when I see Cyber and I see all those new cars that they got, some of them cars look futuristically dope, and I can't wait to crash that into somebody.
if you take that sound bite without context, it's just like, what did he say? It's just like, what?
Don't worry. I put out a tweet about Doc a couple years ago. It's like, if you have that friend that just likes to play GTA to straight up kill people, watch for them. That's Doc.
It's not just to kill people. I like to drive the cars. Like,
sure. Into other people.
I don't just like to kill people. I like to really maim them first.
I like to set them up and like have them roar into my stadium lair, and then I blow them.
Yeah, then I blow up the lair.
Yo, I'm not that type of person. It's just my video game persona.
I got you.
So Doc has a split personality only when he plays video games.
I'm a little worried about the picture you guys are painting of me because it's not going to look good.
Nope. When he starts playing.
Nope.
Oh my god. Yeah. So that was the gaming. I mean, we wanted to discuss it. One of the other things, gaming in the pandemic, though, what's it been like? Steven, I know you've had, I see you post about you and your partner gaming together. That seems really dope. That's one of the things that I love. My partner is the bigger gamer out of the two of us.
Nice.
She really is. I don't, like I said, I just run around and blow stuff up. She's out there playing Last of Us 2. She's played all the Assassin's Creed. She's played Horizon Zero Dawn. She has a Switch. She's been on her Switch playing. We just got Luigi's Mansion. Like, she has games.
That's good. That's fun.
So, you know, and I wish sometimes that I was as good a gamer as she is, because when she plays, she puts games at the max level and starts them there. She doesn't build up. And I get too much anxiety just playing, like, what's the one, Saints Row, where you essentially become a superhero? And even that game, when I played it, I don't play it at the hardest because I was just like, I'm a superhero, I can't die, and I still was playing it at the lowest. Meanwhile, she's running around playing Last of Us 2, where the game gives you less supplies and you can't hear when people are walking. And I'm like, yo, how do you even play this? You don't sound when people walk near you. She's like, nah, that's one of the things when you get to the hardest level, like, you just see people pop out. I'm like, what? No, I don't like that.
No, thank you.
God damn. So that's the thing. Like, I would love to get a PS5 mostly for her because it'd be dope to have the gaming. But that's the other thing. She's not, like I said, she's loving the PS4 right now still. And one of the things we learned, or that she learned, some of the games are going to come out that, you know, free game upgrade, which that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I think essentially all of them. I think Is it only Assassin's? Is it Assassin's Creed that's not free? I think.
Yep.
Anyway,
no, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that is one of them.
That's not free, right? You have to pay to upgrade like $10.
No. It says it's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
All right.
I always wanted to play that game, Kingdom Hearts.
Yo, I love that series.
So good, except for 3 is a little bit of a letdown.
What's that one about? Is that the Final
Fantasy
one
that took 13 years to come out?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Three for me was a big letdown, especially after 13 years. I think I love Kingdom Hearts. My problem with Kingdom Hearts is that it's like for people like me that follow the main games like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3. That doesn't have the time to go play the in-betweens on the Nintendo DS and the blah 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 blah. Like they expect you to have done like all the research, and you walk into it and you're just like, should I have studied before I walked into this game? What?
You have like notebooks and like a tutor. You have like a tutor next to you, like, okay, chapter 4 of the game. It's like, what?
When I was playing it, I had like Wikipedia open just so I could be like, okay, Zanhuna, he's a what? He's a nobody. Okay, who's a nobody again? It's like they've built up so much lore. Like in the first game, it was easy to consume because it was the first game. But now there's just so much. It's just like, is it a different language? Like, what is happening? But they still managed at the end. Square is good at this. Like, you may not like the whole game, but once you finish the boss and you see that like final, the fight, like the cutscenes at the end, you always feel so attached to the game you just play. Like they tug on your heartstrings. Like I was going like, oh my god, it's been like 15 years we've been together, Kingdom Hearts. Like, I was crying.
We had that bond.
We bonded. Oh, sorry, no.
Oh my god, Dave. I know you recently. I wanted to ask you about this real quick because as a fellow Lego geek, I appreciate that you've been doing some more Lego geeking. Do you want to tell people? Do you want to tell people? Does it sound weird? Lego geeking? Is that a weird thing to say?
It sounds like a little strange. Yeah.
It sounds weird. Okay. Lego aficionados. I guess I don't know.
Legoing.
Did you get your? You got your what's it call it? Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Tell me about the build. Just for the diehard Lego fans, because I saw you building it, and there was moments where, as much like you see, I have the Batmobile behind me, I have the Batwing right in front of me. Like as much as I got to build large builds recently, I saw yours, and as much as it's not right to be, I covet your Millennium Falcon because I secretly want one now. And
well, I won't lie, that is one of the things. Like as a kid, I always wanted it, and because of the pandemic, I was like getting like I wanted to do stuff, right?
Yeah,
things. I started off by getting the Yellow Submarine from the Beatles.
Yes,
and then that one I had to hunt down. I actually got that at a ridiculous price, like a ridiculously good price, because I think basically the person was expecting for people to bet on it. They started at like $150 or something, and I got it for like $158.
Yeah.
So like I was like, I'm pretty sure the guy was spamming to try and stop me from buying it. I out-spammed him, which was just great. It was very satisfying.
I love it.
It was 6 bags plus 2 random bags.
Okay.
It was just like there were some pieces that are just like really big that they were like, we're not going to put it in there, you know? Yeah. It took me roughly, it took me watching in the background Empire Strikes Back, Phantom Menace, and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
To build.
I love that. So that is something for people who don't build Lego. If you are a Lego fan, you usually watch the art that's related to what you're building. So like while I was building the Batmobile and the Batwing, I watched Batman episodes. Like
nice.
Like it's just kind of this thing that you do because you're just like, I'm building the thing you're related to, and you're like all excited about building the pieces, and you're like looking at the show and you see the Batmobile drive by and you're like, I'm gonna have one soon. So and I also like that you measure time and how many Star Wars movies you
That's exactly. I would say this, it's actually a lot heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that's what
hypothetically go get it, but it's relatively large. Like I would say like if it's standing like in front of me, it's easily like yay long, like yay tall.
Damn.
It's pretty.
I'll say
it's very big.
It looks like you just did about a foot by 2 feet, maybe.
I would say about a foot by about a foot and a half, maybe. Well,
okay, foot and a half. Okay.
The extending in the front is a bit.
Yeah.
I also got the version that I got because it gave you all of the New Hope characters.
Cool.
So like I got you got Leia, Chewie, Han, Obi-Wan, Luke, and Darth Vader all in one.
Cool.
That's the main reason why I wanted that one specifically.
Yeah.
Because I'm there, I'm like, those are a lot of like, mind you, it's not per se the Luke. I always wanted to get like my favorite version of Luke is when he's Jedi Master or Jedi Knight, I should say.
Yeah.
So this was like his original like hope, but
yeah,
it was all very worth it. All the pieces were completely intact, and it actually had 2. I was surprised, even though it was only 6 bags, it required 2 instruction manuals for it.
Yeah, they do that sometimes because my Batmobile had 1. This had 1, but then like the Doctor Strange house, the Sanctum Sanctorum that I have here was 2 books, and I don't understand why. This one was 3,300 pieces, but that's like less than 1,000, and it has. I don't know how they decide these things. The reason I was bringing it up is because I think I'm gonna make my first foray into bootleg Lego. Allegedly. So I can't talk about it too much because the company that was making them got shut down the first time. So real quick. My buddy, I went to my buddy's house about a year ago, and he shows me in his glass because he has the same Detolf. Shout out to IKEA for these Detolf glass displays. They're pretty popular around us geek collectors. But so he shows me his, and in his Detolf he has like who are the guys that the on Tatooine, the scavengers? What are they called? Yeah, those dudes, the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah,
thank you. So the Tusken Raiders, he has like a Tusken Raider helmet on shelf 1. Then he has like a X-wing something on shelf 2, and so and so. And then in the next one, he has all Lego sets, these really elaborate Star Wars Lego sets. And I'm like, yo, man, where did you get those? And he's just like, I got them from, and I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, that's not Lego. He's just like, no, but you can't tell, can you? And I'm like, no, I can't tell. And he's just like, exactly. And I'm like, how much do you pay for it? He's just like, usually 1/3 the price. I'm like, God damn, dude. So shout outs to everybody out there, because I am definitely, I'm ordering this. I'm 100% ordering this. They have the Ghostbuster Firehouse that sold out from Lego from Jump that everyone bought that I didn't have a chance to get, and now sells for $1,000. And I found it on this place for less than $200.
Damn.
So I'm getting one.
I'm guessing right after this podcast, you're gonna get a phone call from Lego's lawyers. Like, excuse us. I mean, what's this company you speak of?
I said allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Allegedly, this happened. You were dreaming. You woke up. You're like, oh yeah, it's a dream.
If you guys ever see one in the background, it's a prop. It's not real.
It's not real.
You guys,
it's CG.
Yeah, green screen.
Green screen, man.
Guys, this whole thing's a green screen, right? I don't actually own any of this stuff.
I just want to be there between you and your friend when you had that conversation. You're like, oh, so it's not real, and you can't tell the difference. And I hear the music like, dun, 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 dun. You just.
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I saw his collection, that Lego set, I was just like, yo, these are some nice pieces. And he's just like, yeah, man. And I'm like, and he's like, they're not legit. And I was like, God damn, like we're talking like he had not your Millennium Falcon, but he had what's the larger, not the Star Destroyer. He had like a small version of a Star Destroyer. He had something else. I was like, yo, dude, these are like huge sets. How much did these cost? And he's just like, homie, barely a thing. And I was like, God damn. So
the one thing that did hurt my ego though, so after I posted it, right, a bunch of people were liking the post that I had, right?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
And then, but sometimes I saw like there were Lego names, or like obviously this person's a Lego collector, right?
Yeah.
One time I clicked it and like my ego immediately shattered because like the first like series of images that this one dude had was like not just having the Millennium Falcon, but having like essentially all the ships, but then in his basement, like all put them in the air, so it's like a big huge fight. And I'm there, I'm like, fuck you too then.
I'll tell you this right now. If you are a collector or starting a collection, just like anything else with social media, don't click on the people who have 10,000 followers and all the Lego and all the stuff, because you will have such Lego envy watching their beautiful display of their collection. Every time I see it, I'm just like, and the same buddy I was talking about, his basement, he had a room in his basement that was just scenes. Like he built scenes and he had Lego in the scenes, and then some of them were action figures in the scenes. He had one of the largest Star Wars collections I've ever seen. And he used to do these elaborate setups. He had a TIE fighter and X-Wings and all this stuff flying. He had dude, it was, and now that he has the 2 kids, I wonder where all that stuff is. Because he offered to sell me some of it, and I was like, yeah. And then the pandemic hit, and then I stupidly haven't reached out now. So I have no clue where any of that stuff is, because I know his wife, her and I went to high school. She's a wonderful woman, but I know she would have been eventually like, we need the room. These
need to go now.
We got 2 kids, not 1. We got 2 kids in the house with us. You got to make the room. So
I would have worked that out. The kids would have slept on them things, bro.
Like, do we really need these kids?
You want these kids to go to college? All right, then.
Yeah, keep my investment.
That's the thing, right? Yeah.
Oh shit. All right, guys. I mean, we didn't really write anything down for View the Right Thing, but we can talk about super quick. Dave, let's hit what you wrote, because I definitely have seen Netflix's Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2, so I'm okay to talk about those as well, because I don't know. Oh wait, real quick, Steven, did you want to talk about Queen's Gambit? Because we talked about it for a hot second before.
Oh yeah, like,
and I never actually spoke about it on the show, so I'm down to talk about it now. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those shows where we're at the point where we literally felt like we watched everything on Netflix.
Yeah.
So we're just like, all right, what is this Queen's Gambit? Like, in my head, because I like chess, but in my head, I never thought a show about chess could be exciting. I'm just like, what are you gonna do? Like, make the act, like, how can you make chess look exciting? Have the camera zoom in real quick? I don't know. So I was just like, I don't know what you're gonna do. But man, we got hooked instantly. Like, it is such an emotional roller coaster, and it's such a powerful show, and it's just so good. Like, and it's not one of those things where it's only so good because you know, like, with pandemic brain. We're just like, any entertainment right now is like, please just entertain me. Like, no, man, it's like, this isn't Stockholm entertainment. This is like, you actually.
Oh, that might have to be the title. Stockholm Entertainment's pretty
Stockholm Entertainment. Yeah, man. No, it's such a great show, man. Like, I was actually really sad that it ended, and I hope that Netflix lets it be one of those, because right now it's a limited series. It's like, it's 1 season and that's all it is. I hope they don't go like, this did so well, let's do a season 2. No, let's just leave it as is. It was impactful and doesn't need to continue. We got our story. But yeah, I think if you haven't watched it, watch that. It's definitely so good.
100% agree. Also, I mean, one of the reasons that I don't want them to continue it is the fact that it is like, the show was the book. Like, there's it's like a small booklet, right? Like, I think the author wrote it as like a short story, so he didn't write more. And I don't want them to try and create more in the voice, because obviously what he wrote was perfect for a series. Like, it just fit so well. And I also like the acting. Like, I know we talked about the movie New Mutants on here and how we didn't really love that movie. And the fact that the star from Queen's Gambit, the young lady, I always forget her name, and Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays Beth, like, she kills it. And even the kid that plays the young version of Beth, Ilsa,
yes,
she does such a good job as that. Like, the kind of like, and it makes sense that, like, this kid who's gone through such a dark and just depressing life, because, you know, I mean, not to spoil too much, but like you can tell that the dad wants to be a part of the life, but the mom doesn't want the dad there. And then by the time the mom realizes the dad should be there, things are a little rough. And then this kid ends up no longer having access to either parent, is essentially how I'll say that. And she displays that pain in her face and how she moves so well for a child actor that I was just like, yo, you say. Similarly, when I watched Homegirl from His Dark Materials, who was in Logan, Daphne, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, I just started watching that.
Yeah. Oh, great show. But yeah, definitely enjoy it because like season 2 is amazing so far. But similarly, how that actress was so good as a child actor, and you were just like, this kid's gonna do it. Like they know what they're doing. They have the talent. Is the same way that I saw this kid, Ilsa Johnson, and I was just like, whatever the next few projects are for this kid, they're gonna be solid because they have the timing and the delivery, and they're kids. They can only get better.
I felt like right after the first episode, I remember they switched to her as an adult.
Yeah.
Right after that, when they switched, I was just like, no, I'm not ready. She's so good. There's no way whoever is gonna, like, this new actress is gonna is gonna do a good enough job. And then she blew it out of the water too. So I was just like, all right, man, you can kudos.
Yeah. Also a sleeper on the show, the woman who plays the mom.
Yeah.
The woman who plays the mom was like just amazing. And she does such a great job. I don't want to say what she is, but the one who ends up being Beth's mom, who comes in.
Okay, so my bad, everyone. So send all the spoiler hates to
no, like I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. The show's been out, but in case they haven't, like go watch the first episode and then we you'll catch up. Like it's because everything we're discussing already gets revealed in the first episode. But it's again, solid show, worth seeing. Definitely check it out. And His Dark Materials, season 2 has started, and solid show. I would tell people to go check that out too. Season 2 has been good.
Go ahead.
No, that's it. Season 2 has been good. I don't even want to try and spoil it. Thumbs up for that.
I was gonna say there's one movie that I recommend everyone to go watch. I think it's on Crave. We were talking about this before.
The Hunt.
The Hunt. I walked in, like, it started, and the first 20 minutes I was just like, this is the most garbage I've ever seen. like I was like, the acting is terrible. The everything just is not good. And then I don't know what happened. It just like it switches on you instantly, and it becomes like the best movie you've ever seen. Like you just get hooked, and I don't know how. I don't know what happened, but it was like within 20 minutes in, you're just like, I hated this thing. And I was making fun of it. I remember my girlfriend was just like, could you stop making fun of this movie and let's just watch? I was like, no, look at this. This is terrible. she pinpointed something right at the beginning. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you'll see it. It's like the first scene. You're going to be like, really? Did you guys even like check the editing? Yeah. Like it's that bad. And then it just becomes like the best movie. So it's like, yeah, you just have to watch it because I'm confused. And I want you to be just as confused as I am.
All right.
Oh, I'm down. Skinny, did you watch The Mandalorian? Have you been catching up on The Mandalorian?
Yo, I said many times, I'm not a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, no, I know. But I care not.
Okay. But this show,
exactly.
This is all that Star Wars was. Give Jon Favreau everything, nigga. Just
yes.
Jon Favreau everything.
Give Jon Favreau everything. This show, listen, everybody been clowning Boba Fett for like 33 years, bro. They've been clowning Boba Fett. And in one episode, my nigga said, no. I'm going to fuck y'all up with this spear kick. And then I'm going to go and get this armor. And just for like a Jordan nothing but net shot, I'm going to aim with my missile and shoot down a big giant ship into another ship. And then play it off and be like, I was aiming for the other one. Stop.
Take the credit. You know what you did. Take the credit.
My God, that show, that episode alone was just like,
and it's the shortest episode. It was like 30 minutes,
right?
Yeah,
I felt like it was an hour. These guys are like, oh yeah, no, in the armor, in exchange for the child safety. Mandalorian's like, all right, well, y'all are done. Like my shit's done. Just give me a ride.
Yeah.
No, like we're with you till the kid's safe. And I'm like, oh, come on.
I know. I got so excited when I realized that's the new team. I was just like, yo, this is legit. Like, this is going to be an insane, epic movement. And
are you guys worried about the same thing that I'm worried about?
Which
was
is
that
Boba Fett dying too?
Yeah, he's for sure dying.
He's still going to die by the end of not this season, early next season. He's dead.
Yeah.
This is how he gets the ship.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
The episode's a tragedy. It's a tragedy that they lost a child, but also the tragedy that the ship blew up. Also the tragedy low and old in episode 8 when Boba Fett died.
Oh, damn.
Foreshadowing.
The armor for the child's safety. He's gonna die in the armor for the child's safety.
I feel like we burst Doc's bubble. Like I saw a bit of like a frown develop.
It was like tears.
Single tears. No, because like not like I'm the biggest Boba Fett fan. I've never been the biggest Boba Fett fan. I always thought it was a lot of hype around the character. Then you kind of got the story in Clone Wars, in the movie where they explained Jango and Bubba and that like his kid and all that stuff. And
they tried so hard.
And when you like you could tell they were trying to make Boba Fett and Jango Fett something that were like, okay, you guys are finally trying to flesh out this character that doesn't do shit in the original movie, but just looks cool because of his visor and helmet, and everyone lost their shit over that. But fine, let's make him cool. And then you actually, Jon Favreau and Filoni come in and they're just like, you know what, let's actually make the character cool. And then you do all this badass shit, and then you're gonna kill him. I really, guys,
you're like, hope not.
I hope that hurts. I hope they don't do it.
You know what?
Sorry, go ahead, Steven.
No, I was gonna say like the Mandalorian. First of all, it's epic, and like, can we just talk about the music? Anyway, that's a whole different story. But like,
Ludwig.
But like the Mandalorian and like Rogue One, those two pieces of property. For me, are proof that Star Wars has so much lore and material that it can draw from. The universe is so big that I'm just like, could we stop focusing on the Skywalkers? I'm so done. Like, I don't need to hear any more about Anakin, Luke. I don't want to know. I'm done. Like, there's so much lore. There's so much story to tell that is so grand. And they keep focusing like on these other characters that are just like, I don't want to hear about this family drama anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, let's talk about other people.
I would even go so far as to say, give me one full trilogy where we barely see any Jedi. Yeah. I don't need Jedi in every single story. I'm down with Ahsoka being a gray and the only introduction to that being this person connects to the Force. That's it. I don't want stories about the Force. I don't want the story to be the only focus, because like you said, in a galaxy a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, we don't only need to focus on just the Jedi and the Sith. Those guys can be the background to the whole thing going on, but Rogue One proved to us that you can tell a story where they're not the main focus and it still be entertaining. And I'm down for that. If you want to give me a series that's about like, I mean, I didn't love the Han Solo movie, but if you want to do something that's about Spice Runners, if you want to do something about the Mandalorian, if you want to do something, I'm down. Hell, even a Darksaber that's not technically related to the Jedi, like the Darksaber really comes from the Mandalorian lore and all that stuff, I'm down. But yo, give it a rest. Like you guys did so many movies. You did 9 movies about the Jedi, and then you ended it in the worst way that I'm just like, I don't even care.
We're not even talking about that.
We don't talk. That's
a rant. We don't talk about 8 and 9. We don't talk about.
It's not that bad.
Yes, it is.
Oh no, I don't hate it. I hate 9.
Mark Hamill himself said that wasn't his. I'm not going down the path.
Yes,
not going down the path.
Let me just end it by saying I love Hasbro's fake out. I love what you guys did there. Hasbro recently put up, I think it was not a crowdfund, but just like they announced 33 or 3¾ inch Mandalorian ship, $350 worth. Comes with like all the stuff. You can take out the ship, bunch of weapons, storage, Mandalorian with a cloth cape, Grogu, all that. And you paid $350, and then they just blew the shit up. Love that.
That's rude. That's dope though.
So good.
That's dope. Dave.
So I'll hit up the. So I watched, starting to get into the Christmas spirit. Me and my girl watched the Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. Christmas Chronicles 1 came out last year. 2 came out this year.
Shout outs to Kurt Russell.
Yeah. So the first one is basically classic tale of like what probably kids have done before, where they try and stay up all night to see where Santa delivers the presents. But these two kids actually catch Santa in the act, and because they try and tag along, they kind of mess up his evening and mess up his ride. So the whole movie is about like fixing things so that Christmas could happen type thing. Yeah. I'll say this. I was actually considering, I was like, oh, this is going to be so predictable. I was actually very impressed about how entertaining the first one was.
Right?
Like, dude, I was there and like, this is a very good Christmas story.
When he's driving, is it the Mustang that he drives?
Yeah.
Yo, when you have Santa looking all rock and roll, driving a Mustang down the street, being a badass, I was just like, I'm down. I'm here to watch a movie.
But the thing about these two movies, although Santa was jolly, he had an edge. Like, it was the first time you saw Santa be like kind of negative towards people if they were negative to him, instead of just being this like, oh, I'm just fat and happy. Like, he's like basically harassing Coca-Cola. He's like, why am I fat? I was never fat. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I remember that.
And then how he gets in jail at one point, and how he escapes jail is one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it's a random musical number out of nowhere. That's where he brings the spirit of Christmas, and everyone's like, go save Christmas. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. So my headcanon with that is also the fact that, I don't know if you ever saw Sky High, the movie. It's a Disney movie from a couple years ago. It's about the superhero high school that these kids all go to, and Kurt Russell plays essentially the Superman character in that movie. And when I saw him in the first Christmas Chronicles, I was just like, yo, man, this is just a Sky High character. And that shit is dope as fuck. Like, I was so excited when I watched the movie, and I was just like, he's playing the same weirdo character. This is dope. I respect it. So,
the second one, and what I also liked, she's only at the end of the first one, but she's prominent in the second one, is that they got Goldie Hawn, who's his real life partner, to be Mrs. Claus, which was cool. The second one being like, since the first one was like human. Sorry, go on.
I haven't seen the second one, so don't spoil it. Just tell us if it's good.
I will say that it's good, but I'll say the only spoil is that instead of it being more about the kids, it was more about things happening in the mythos. Let's say.
Okay, cool.
Like it's not so much a normal place.
Wait, real question: is Black Pete in this one?
Huh?
Black Pete? Remember I told you guys about Black Pete the other day?
Yes, we know about Black Pete.
The dude that delivers the coal instead of the gift.
Oh no!
He's white dude in blackface. He's supposed to be.
I remember that.
He's not in it. Obviously,
he's not in it.
Yeah, because if I ask you that, you would have been like, "Yeah," and it was scary. But if the fact that you didn't know, he's not there. Because the depictions of Black Pete, you don't forget. That shit's racist.
Is Black Pete black?
No, he's a white guy.
Oh, thank God.
So here's
research this.
I'll explain real quick. Black Pete, the reason so many people from the Scandinavian countries who enjoy Black Pete as a character don't find it racist is because it's not blackface. He's covered in soot from going down the chimney, and he carries around coal. So to them, they're just like, it's not blackface when I cover my face in black. It's a representation of the soot that he's covered in.
I just also happen to have nappy hair too.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. It's the fact that the full depiction of Black Pete.
No. That's racist. That's racist. You know what? I would have forgiven it if it was back in the day when they didn't have access to the internet. But guess what? You have the internet.
Yes.
Google, it's racist.
Hey, Google, I like that with the fingers. Google, it's racist.
The worst part is that like Google will you up right in the images. So like you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, this is just like a white dude with coal. Then you start looking at it, more of the pictures are like, and all the hair gets nappier.
I do a Google search, yes, please.
Okay, right. Look at the
Oh no!
This is the Netherlands thing because technically if you research it, technically it's Krampus that's supposed to be delivering bad kids coal and horror.
Yeah. We're gonna shut on Zwart Pete for a bit.
Can you click on the one with the red black jacket there? The MJ jacket. Is that
looks like Michael Jackson?
Is this
having a bad day?
Are you gonna tell me that they didn't know what they were doing? Come on.
I had no idea.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Well, what do you mean? So then if you're trying to play perfect Zwart Pete here.
Get out of here.
If you guys are listening to this, we are looking at pictures of Black Pete. If you just Google Black Pete, trust me, you will see, because that's literally all I typed was Black Pete, and these are all the images that came up. You'll see a dude in a red and black that looks like a thriller. I might even make it
essentially an Oompa Loompa, but taller, and the color of orange has obviously changed to black.
Scroll down a bit, bro.
Which one? Scroll down a bit?
Yeah.
On this side?
Yeah, okay, right there. See the one with the actual soot on the face?
Yeah, that's
a proper depiction. That's a proper depiction.
So there's a young girl who just has a little bit of soot on her face. And if you're gonna do Black Pete, this is an acceptable version of the character in which a white person has a little bit. You know who it looks like? What's the dude from Mary Poppins that goes down the chimney that well played? Whatever that
I know you're talking about.
The chimney sweep. You can have a little bit of dirt on your face, and that's fine. But it's this whole thing with like full on blackface.
No, it's just racist, man.
Obviously, everyone's representing Black Pete at the end of the night.
This is it's entirely racist. No,
I'm calling this out.
Do you know I know it's racist? You know I know it's racist because they call him Black Pete, but they don't call Santa White Santa. Like, nah, this is
they don't call it White Claws.
White Santa, White Claws, Black Pete.
Oh man!
They don't call him White Claws.
White Claws and Black Pete.
I'm gonna try and reel this back to what I was talking about. What I'll say is that Christmas Chronicles 1 is great. 2, classically not as good, but I think it was just as entertaining. It's a bit more kid friendly, I find, compared to the first one. Like the first one, I see a lot of adults enjoying it. This one, I was like a little bit more kiddie, but it still got me through. I didn't want to let go of it.
The fact that you didn't mention the villain is Homeboy from Deadpool, so I feel like that's crossover right there.
Well, you told me not to spoil anything. Limited.
He's in the trailer. He's in the trailer. I'm just saying you can mention that.
But then you're gonna ask me who it is, and then I'm gonna tell you, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, you told me everything."
No. I'm not asking you who it is. You can just mention that Homeboy from Deadpool is in the movie. That's all I'm saying, because that's kind of a cool selling point.
There's also someone from Fast and the Furious franchise who's in the movie.
Oh, that's dope. Vin Diesel shows up. Cool. No, I'm joking. I don't know.
But I'll also, so then that being wrapped up, gonna just give a thumbs up or down for the most recent NXT takeover. War Games, the wrestling thing. Just saying, way big thumbs up. Almost every single match was great, and I will give an extra bit of kudos to the women's match in the sense that a lot of the women's matches are like the first times for them in the most recent years, like the first time they did a Royal Rumble or Chamber or all this stuff. I think this is the second time that they did this specific match. And like last year, I was relatively impressed, and they completely adapted and got used to like what you're not necessarily what you're supposed to do, but really taking into consideration the environment. And it was just a great pay-per-view from front to end. It was great.
Okay. Dope. Hey man, you know me. I don't really watch wrestling, but you guys always make it sound interesting. I did hear one thing that I'm shocked that you didn't mention.
Talking about we want to go down that rabbit hole.
I'll say it quick because you guys know we are not the source for news when it comes to wrestling, but we are kind of geeks, so wrestling does connect with our culture. Sting is coming back to wrestling. That's crazy.
he's not just coming back to wrestling. He's going back to TNT, which WCW, which was his original franchise.
Okay.
Was on. I think that's also part of the reason why they're doing it. I've done a lot of research on it because he's actually tied with Bret Hart. I think he's maybe my favorite wrestler of all time.
Okay.
From my understanding, they'll do because he's I think he's 61 now. They're gonna do.
Damn.
He has a backstage role.
Okay.
But I know that they're planning to do cinematic matches where that way they could if he takes a bump or a fall, they could make sure it's really safe. They'll have probably tag matches to keep him really safe. They're saying that they might have 1 or 2 real live matches, but if they do, I'm imagining they're gonna be for those who don't know what it is, a squash match means you go in and there's clearly a winner and clearly a loser right off a jump. And I think he might have 1 or 2 squash matches because, again, 61 and with the injury that he sustained in WWE, which kind of forced him to a semi-retirement for a moment, that we were talking about that stuff earlier. Because wrestlers, oddly enough, never retire because if they have any excuse to come back, they will.
True, eh? That's a good point.
But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. The dyeing of the hair is a little obvious. There's certain aspects I'm I don't care about your face paint and stuff. You're still looking a little old, but the fact that he has merch, I'm gonna go buy the merch.
Nice.
Nice.
End of the day, that's all they want. They're not bringing it back they're not bringing. I am not
surprised that in December, he showed up on the site. On the show. I went on the website the second I saw him. I went on the website. His merch was already there. It's clearly for Christmas.
Yeah, guys, this is a business.
Yeah.
To you wrestling fans out there who are I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but I'm just saying, don't think they didn't roll out the barrel and dump some cash at his feet and knowing full well just him showing up would mean multiple more battles down the road. That's just
sure. So merch alone and viewership alone.
Yeah. I don't really fuck with wrestling, and I'm excited that Sting's coming back. I remember seeing this dude in the rafters when I was a kid and thinking, this man is insane. And now they're coming back. So it's okay, it's kind of a throwback for young Brian, who was just freaked out but impressed with what this was. So okay, cool. That's all the stuff we watch, guys. You know what time it is. We always go into our final segment. Oh, I didn't have the music set. I gotta replay. Sorry. Rewind. Geek news and rumors. Guys, this is where we end the show off with some geek news and rumors that we've seen in the past week. I'm going to start off with the biggest one that people have been arguing about for the last couple days. And this is real quick, shout outs to Lee J. Sting's shirts sold out in 24 hours, by the way. So that's big. It's like PS5s out there. Real quick, this has been a big thing. Warner Brothers to debut their entire 2021 film slate on HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously. For those of you who don't know, that means that the movies will be available for people who in the States, unfortunately, because in Canada we have it on Crave, and Crave has announced they will not be releasing the films until after they hit their theatrical release in Canada. But also the HBO Max thing means that the movies will only be on HBO Max for 31 days. Now, I don't really understand this decision. I understand the decision. I just find it weird. Why 31 days? If you're going to put it on your streamer, why limit it? Why 31 days and then stop? I don't get it. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that. It just seems like a weird decision to be hey, here's this movie we were planning to put in theaters and make a whole bunch of money off of for 31 days. And
I'm too distracted by the fact that apparently there's a new Space Jam. I didn't know about or I forgot about.
Okay, so we don't usually make this joke, but you can tell that Dave's the white one because the rest of us knew that Space Jam.
Yeah.
I love Space Jam. I didn't know it was. I did. Oh no, it's LeBron. It's LeBron, of course.
Okay, he's in. No, I'm sorry.
I completely forgot about that. I'm sorry. That completely distracted me.
You know what though? I won't shade you because remember the time I forgot about the Ninja Turtles live action movie and Skinny, you were so you were just offended for them because you're just like, how are you not going to remember a full-on movie? And I was just like, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot. I 100% forgot of the existence of that movie. So
the recent ones that you're talking about, the recent ones.
Yeah,
I think we all want to forget.
Full on. We were talking. It's just funny because we were talking about it, and I was talking about rebooting it as if they hadn't done it recently, and the guys were just like, Brian, you know, there was the movies just came out a couple years ago. I was like, oh yeah, and I had completely forgot about them, which. As a nerd, I felt like my nerd card was wasn't looking
revoked.
Yeah,
but we understand though because they were not great at all.
You had a strike against you.
Yeah, man. So I mean, this is a pretty big deal. This is the list of movies that are going to be coming out. The Little Things, Tom and Jerry, The Many Saints of Newark, Reminiscent, Godzilla vs. Kong, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, In the Heights, Space Jam: A New Legacy, Suicide Squad, Dune, Elvis, King Richard, Matrix 4. Judas and the Black Messiah, Malignant, Mortal Kombat, and Those Who Wish Me Dead. All are going to be released for 31 days on their premiere days in theaters, for 31 days on HBO Max. They'll have their entire run in theaters like they're supposed to. So I would imagine the standard is 90 days. I think the conversation that a lot of people are having is like Steven Soderbergh was one of the directors who brought up like, I know people are mad, but Warner Brothers is just reacting to a reality of the world. I don't know about you guys. I'm not going to a theater anytime soon. And yes, I would love to say by August 6th when Suicide Squad comes out in theaters that I'll feel comfortable. But yes, we have a vaccine, but is the vaccine going to be super successful? I have to wait and see. I'm planning to get it, but I want to know, like, you know, some people are telling me you might have to do the vaccine multiple times. Some people are saying, I want to get all the information before I start making decisions. And because of that uncertainty, Warner Brothers has to plan. They got to make money. And that uncertainty means, okay, what's a surefire way for us to make some money? We own HBO Max, put the movies out on there, and we make our money. And that's just what it is.
But I know that because I think Dune was co-produced by Warner Brothers and TriStar or something like that. I think, and I think it was TriStar, and whichever one was their co-production company there, which again I think is TriStar. They were actually arguing for them not to put it in HBO. They have two movies. I think it's Matrix and I think it's Dune that they helped out with, and they were actually against what they were doing.
Shit.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so you guys have heard me mention it before on here. NATO, which is the National Association of Theater Owners, it's the other NATO. Those guys are the ones that have to deal with the distributors for the 90 days, the 90-day window that distributors are not supposed to release movies. I think after 90 days, they can release it on streaming, and I think physical copies can come after that, like 100-something days. So I get companies and people saying this is kind of a nasty move because it really does mess up the theater. Like, you know, people are going to go to the theaters for Matrix 4. You know, Tenet was the one for this year. If ever there's a movie that I'm excited to see in theaters, you know, cool. Suicide Squad sounds good. Could I see that on Crave in a couple months after? Sure. I'm not dying to see it. I already feel like half of them are going to die. I'm excited to see the movie, but it's more just a joke of how they're going to kill off characters, right? A la Deadpool. You're going to see all these cameos and everyone's going to get blown up. But Matrix 4 and continuing that was such a like amazing story from when we were younger, that I'm mad excited about.
Well, the Matrix 1 was an amazing story. Matrix 2 and 3 were a little confusing.
Oh, yeah, that's Matrix 2 was the action movie. Matrix 2 is the good action movie. Matrix 3, it depends on if you like the ending. I never liked the ending of Matrix 3. I won't lie.
Matrix 3 spent too much time in Zion, and I think I was just like, oh, okay anymore.
Yeah. For me, it was just the concept of like, oh, wait, so he's not the one because we're going to redo this in a few months or whatever. I was like, so this is a big waste of time. Yep. I don't get it.
But hey,
that's what I'm worried that Matrix 4 is. If Matrix 4 turns into like instead of it being Neo, it's like Nia, and it's a girl who's essentially Neo, I'm going to be angry. I'll throw popcorn.
So I would imagine, because that's the thing. Neo figured out how to break the cycle, right? That's how the movie ends. Like, the one has ever been able to do what he did in the real world, which is what we learn at the, like, he figures out that he still seems to have powers in the real world, which was new. So I'm hoping that it's going to continue with that storyline and we'll see something interesting. I don't know. Whatever it is. Sorry, Skinny.
I didn't see the third Matrix until years later.
Yeah.
I got roped in, and then I saw that bullshit ending of Matrix Reloaded, and I was like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah.
I saw man's lying on a table, and I was like, no, we're not doing this. Nope. So when I finally saw, can we talk about real quick?
I'm worried.
Zion. We're Zion, and we have to defend Zion.
Yeah.
Fuck, are we going out there with mech suits with no coverage for your face,
right, or body? You had this what was available to shoot, and let's make it clear: if the robots were this smart, why are they not just like laser beaming out that shit? Like, what's going on?
Listen, you don't have much metal. And you are literally having tribal raves, and all your extra resources are down there where you can build in drums and shit, and you can build a fucking what the fuck am I seeing?
Oh, man. Oh fuck! It's so true. Whenever we watch this stuff, it's like, wait, you guys have limited resources, but figured out making drums was important. Hey man, people gotta dance, baby. People gotta dance.
Not only that,
the dance was just to allow them to want to have sex.
Yeah,
right. Like there was a direct correlation. Like you saw two people dancing, you see people sparring off very quickly after the dance. Yeah. You know what's happening there.
Yeah, refining Zion that fell. Idiot.
Yeah. Oh, that's why Zion's falling on her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, good God. Yo, no, facts. You guys are right. I feel like I didn't want to say it when we were talking about our boys on The Mandalorian, but that the stuff that they do in plot sometimes, like, love me the episode, don't get me wrong, but that whole episode is different if he doesn't forget his jetpack on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know.
Like that,
the whole time I was just like, bro, just pick up your jetpack. Yeah. Like, you were right there.
But the thing is, that was foreshadowing because you literally see the camera go like, dun, and look at the jetpack against the rock, and you're like, listen.
Yeah, but like, I almost would have respected it more if he picked up the jetpack, saw them, and because I brought this up in one of my nerd groups, and everyone was just like, yeah, so he could get murdered by the robots. I would at least want to see him try and fight them and then realize he has to retreat and pull back, as opposed to not even getting close because Homeboy forgot his jetpack down the hill. Why did you run up the mountain with your big ass Beskar heavy suit when you have a jetpack made specifically for moving you around faster?
Whereas him running up the hill, it doesn't matter how many camera cuts they did, it still looked ridiculous. I was just like, what are you doing? It was like the forgetting the jetpack was such a lazy plot device. No. It was like if it was like a, oh man, I couldn't save you because I forgot my phone. I'm like, yeah, your phone is like this big. Yes. Your jetpack is a jetpack. How do you forget your jetpack? It's so lazy writing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, see, that's my one thing. Episode was great. I love how they set it up, but the like that plot device was so lazy that I was like, guys, come on. Okay, Dave, hit us. What you know what it is?
You know what it is? You guys want to know what it is? What? The episode was actually 50 minutes. With the jetpack. But then they're like, this was so bad, this other 20 minutes. How can we rectify it? It all relates to the jetpack. So just drop it, cut this shit out, and we're good to go.
I still can't get over the epised before that one scene where you see the crew guy, like the guy from that one shot. You're just like, how when you were editing, did you not see him?
Like, which part? I forgot.
There's one scene when I forget but like there's a scene when they're in front of a door, like a sliding door, and on the far left or far right, you can see like this much of a crew member just standing.
like full on his white shirt.
Can you find that? Can we put that on the screen right now? Because
answer for that. I have the exact answer for that. So listen, these guys who are editing now, they know that we're full out fanboys, and they're thinking, well, these guys are grown ass men. They're no longer 8 years old. They understand that we got budget and shit. These niggas really want this shit. They'll take that camera, dude. I'm not gonna reshoot this. That's 10 grand. Nope.
But you know what's funny? They'll complain about Ahsoka's length of hair or whatever, but there's no upheaval about this scene. Whereas in Game of Thrones, when they forgot that coffee cup, people are losing their shit.
Why? Because you fuck around too much and bitch, you get another Swamp Thing. That's what happens.
You know, I'll say this. I think if anything, Star Wars fans, the way Star Wars fans reacted to it, because this is
right there. It's so bad.
I love it. It's so good.
Star Wars fans will like see it and laugh at it and then joke about making like there's an action figure joke, like guy behind wall. Because if they ever made this an action figure, people would actually buy it and it would be part of the
that would sell out.
Oh yeah. Limited run too, man.
Yeah, amazing. Sell out. And then they do the carbonized version, it would sell out again.
But then when you think of like Game of Thrones fans weren't buying action figures. They didn't care about that stuff. So that's why for those guys,
yeah, but like
it's Game of Thrones, a big deal. Like I don't know.
Game of Thrones fans didn't get like a stormtrooper like banging his head against the door frame like years ago. So like we Star Wars fans expect this level of like, well, this happened, but the dude standing there, like the cast, like guy, like what are you doing there? Like,
I respect people for catching it as quickly as they did too, because I didn't notice it, and people were like on it. They were on it. Salutes to J Logic and friends. Just a shout out to anybody that's been watching the show this whole time. I've seen a whole bunch of you guys in stuff, so we appreciate it. I just wanted to say that we weren't ignoring you. We were just laughing so hard and geeking out at some of the wild shit we've been saying that sometimes it's hard to get to the chat.
You know what? I think Game of Thrones took itself too seriously. We like once they messed up, we couldn't let them mess up. Yeah. Whereas Star Wars, you have stormtroopers. The thing about Star Wars now, like, when those stormtroopers came out that ship and it was only homegirl on the like just sniping them off, you knew that she was gonna get past them because it's known in lore that stormtroopers suck, right?
Yeah, they can't. Like, they
can't aim for shit.
Right, they can't hit shit. It's like G.I. Joe, where you'll just see lasers flying and nobody dies. Right, it's just like that. So it's like you expect that kind of goofiness. You're not expecting that, but Game of Thrones didn't have any of that type of goofiness until they started dropping the ball. Like end of the season, you saw the coffee cup next to Khaleesi, and they were like, "Guys, like we know it's the last season, but bang love."
Bang love.
Oh shit. Anyways, to wrap up the movie stuff, kudos to Warner Brothers and HBO. You guys do what you got to do. I think people will understand it. To all the other people who are really upset about it, I mean, if you guys come up with something better, they won't do it. You know what I mean? Like if there's a better option, they're not going this way. And I think that's only fair that if people can figure that out, then because don't get me wrong, I understand that Warner Brothers is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They got money, but they also they have employees and have to figure out how to keep people. And we don't want everyone to have to just get furloughed because they can't figure out how to make money in 2021 with all their movies. We got some Spidey news. Speaking of MCU stuff and alive, Jamie Foxx says, "If I'm in Spider-Man 3, I'll be happy." I know that people were.
Wasn't it confirmed?
Yeah,
him and Doc and the.
Yeah, Doc Ock's the other one that I was going to announce. So yeah, Doc Ock has Alfred. I always forget his last name. Alfred Molina is returning. And Jamie Foxx was said to be 100% confirmed, but then in an interview with Cinema Blend, he was the one that made it seem like if I'm in it. Now, I'll point this out. He does say it with like a kind of tongue-in-cheek like face, like I'm not allowed to confirm this, but if I'm in it, I'll be excited. The only reason I wrote that down is because it made me think of Homegirl that full-on denied that she was She-Hulk. Because remember when So the actress from Orphan Black got confirmed, or at least we thought that she was going to be She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. And then in an interview, full on told people that got blown out of proportion. It's like, and like just outright denied it. And it's just like, wait, what? So that's why like this, I put the Jamie Foxx thing more as a commentary of like, this is how you do media training. If you don't know what to say, tongue in cheek it, you smile and you play along. That way, if anything comes to bite you in the ass, you can already say like, guys, I was just joking, blah, blah, blah. Outright denying it just makes it that the fans won't necessarily trust you. Because now I don't trust what she's going to say as an like about her roles and stuff like that. So that's my take, at least. Hawkeye, last thing I have on the list this week. They are currently filming the Hawkeye series for Disney Plus. They recently added Florence. I always mess up her name. Pugh? P-U-G-H? Is that how we're supposed to pronounce it?
Hugh?
Does that sound right?
I don't know.
Hugh? But Florence, who plays Yelena in the Black Widow movie that has yet to be released because it got pushed back due to the pandemic. But the Black Widow film that is supposed to be coming out in May 2021, Florence is, by all accounts, all rumors, supposed to be taking up the mantle from Scarlett Johansson, and she is supposedly it's been confirmed now that she'll be making an appearance in the Hawkeye series, which I'm pretty excited about. They also have Kate Bishop being played by Haley Stanfield, which weirdly enough, the only casting they haven't confirmed, which has some people pretty upset because there's already set photos of her playing Kate Bishop, but for some reason they haven't confirmed that she is Kate Bishop, which to me, I feel like at that point we already know. We've seen the pictures.
It's silly.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a little concerned about this Hawkeye series because it seems like they're adding a lot to it, and I don't know how many episodes we're going to be getting. But I did similarly say that about the Daredevil season 2 at the time, and I was wrong. So these people know what they're doing. So do
you know what I'm concerned about?
Pandemic.
Taking a different turn from MCU going to DC. I'm concerned about the Zack Snyder cut. At first, I was super excited about it. Yeah, when it just seemed like it was like, I'm gonna complete the story, and now it's like, we're shooting this, we're shooting that, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm just like, whoa.
Zach, when's that coming out again, or when's it supposed to?
I'll check.
21 sometime.
Say what?
21 sometime.
Because I thought the whole point of the Snyder cut was the concept that he had all the footage and he just had to finalize his cut. So,
that's what I thought.
Don't get me wrong. If it said he saw something that was like really bad, well, like correction. If he's like, oh, this fight or something could be better and just redo it, sure. But if they're making new content for the film, it's not such a cut.
It's not a cut anymore. It's a Snyder extra
remake.
It's like it's like a 4. Isn't it a 4 series? 4 episodes now. Like 4 episodes worth of. I'm just like, what?
So one of the things is it's saying it's releasing September 2021, which first of all, that is way too long. Why are we having to wait for a cut of a movie we've already seen to the end of the year?
You got to do if he's reshooting the whole thing.
It's like reshooting the whole thing. It's crazy.
He's taking his time. Insane. It brings back bad memories.
I want to see his vision. Well, now I see. I feel like it's more than just his vision. And I think it's no longer just his vision back then. It's like it's a much bigger beast. But I'm curious because I didn't like Batman v Superman. I didn't like it, but I still liked Zack Snyder's like tone in general. That I feel was completely lost in Justice League. It was just like I don't know. It was just we didn't. Yeah, he just added stuff that I was just like, nah, man, this is not happening. So I want to see, irrespective of if I liked Zack Snyder's like Martha situation.
I was about to say, as long as the movie doesn't be solved by mentioning Martha,
like I didn't like the Martha thing. I didn't like the fact that it chose a Batman that was like disgruntled. Like I didn't like that all of that. But like I don't
like the age.
Yeah, but I still, I was like, you know what, dude, like you're going in a direction. You started Man of Steel. It has that dark tone. You're going with it. I'll go with you. I may not be completely in agreement, but we're cool. but like that 180 turn, like in Justice League, was just like, nah. So let's see what he's doing. You guys should try and get him on this show.
I agree.
Because yeah, go ahead.
Is he doing that many? Is he doing that many ads? Like, is he doing a run?
Yeah, he's doing a lot of runs. Like he's
straight
doing
up.
So many podcasts.
Snyder, you want to be on here? Please. That's all I would say.
Easily.
Make it happen. Make it happen because I feel it would be super dope. Ask him like, what are we? Is it a new movie, guys?
Oh my God. What are you doing?
Steven, I found what you were saying real quick about, yes, originally it was supposed to be a 4-part miniseries with each episode being an hour, and then they decided to make it a 4-hour film.
It's a long movie, man.
Yeah, that is long.
That's not footage that like wasn't used. That was like we filmed some new shit, and we're still filming some new shit right now.
Yo, this is going to become
the Hobbit extended version.
It's going to become the new 10 Commandments on Easter. People are going to be watching this Zack Snyder cut with commercial. It's going to be 6 hours.
Jesus.
It's going to end up being like, what was that? Wolf of Wall Street, where distinctively halfway through the movie, you're like, this was one movie. The Ride was one movie. The Fall was the second movie.
This was one movie.
You know what? I actually like, it's kind of fun when you can pinpoint that in movies. The other movie that's like that is Funny People.
Yeah.
Oh, Funny People, the first part is about the cancer scare, and the second part's about the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. You're like, you guys obviously wrote 2 scripts and just put them into one movie. And I'm okay.
There you go.
Yeah. And I'm not even mad. I'm not mad that you did it. It's weird, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, but what happens now? Like my question with the Zack Snyder cut is like, is it canon to the other movies out after Justice League? Is it
no matter what happens, as long as it's not worse, which it would have to be a big flaming ball of crap to be worse than the other one. Yeah. It erases the first, in my opinion. It just erases.
You know what, Dave? I see you there. I think it's gonna be worse.
How dare you? How dare you? No. Let's be honest. Darkseid's in the movie. The fact that he's in the movie, actually in the movie, it's already bad.
Yeah, it is because they overshot. They basically blew their load in their first movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're gonna have Darkseid come through, kill off half the world. Batman's going to be a dystopian future where most of the heroes are dead. He's going to have to rally back, get Flash to go back in time to warn Bruce and say Lois was the key. Nigga, what are you doing? It's your first movie. First movie. Like, have them fight Mr. Netflix and call it a day. Like, what are you doing?
I didn't think that was going to happen, but now I'm really scared that he's right, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yo, I just realized... So the Snyder Cut is essentially not just the Snyder Cut. It's the first and second movie he was supposed to make, right? Like
probably
because remember he was originally supposed to make 2 Justice League movies, and then it ended up just being 1. The Snyder Cut is essentially just the 2 movies. So that makes sense what you're saying, Steven, that he shot a whole bunch of new stuff because he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot the second movie I didn't get to make.
It was all the Green Lantern scenes that he didn't get to film.
He was like, Warner, I need about 200 million to finish the movie. What was that last part? Yeah, I just need 200 million. I should just shoot extra scenes. Like how much worth? Like another movie's worth of this. Like...
Yo, big facts. If this man has a 4-hour project off of that original movie, the restoration will cost $70 million to complete the visual effects, score, editing, and additional shooting. He legit conned them into giving him money to make a second movie.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that like now, because like if he had all this footage to create a 4-hour movie, I can understand how Joss Whedon will come in at the end and just be like, you know, I don't have time to go through this footage. I'm just gonna shoot the new movie because sorry, my guy, no.
Whedon was just like, okay, cut it there. All right, shooting stuff from this point on. I don't know what he did with
that was the first 5 minutes of the movie. I know.
I can't.
Oh my god, yo, okay, guys, this was a fucking blast.
Yeah, man.
Steven, this was so much fun talking with you, man.
Likewise, man.
Geeking out with you. And it's funny. I just realized the other day because I got the reminder. This is almost a year to the day that you were on the show last year. Because
oh wow,
separated by like a week or two.
Yeah.
Time be flying.
No, dude, I know for real. But it's nice. It was great to have you back, and I feel like we should definitely try and ask you to come back sooner than later.
I would love to.
Yeah, man, it's so much fun geeking out with you, and like I feel like we really just get to. That's the thing. It's always like trying to remember which guest is like a genuine geek, because sometimes I feel like I see all the stuff you're posting, but I'm like, he's busy. I don't want to bother him. But then I was like, nah, man, there's so much stuff I want to talk to Steven about. Let's just do it. Let's just hit him up.
If a camera was following me around 24/7. It'll be like 10% working on projects, like 9% like on GameSpot. Just like
awesome. Yo, man. Yeah, so much fun. Thank you so much for coming through. Is there anything you want to tell people? Anything you want to promote? I saw you post I saw Promised Land. Is that what it is?
Yeah, Promised Land. Yeah, honestly, just follow me on Instagram, and like I post everything I'm gonna be working on. I think that's like, I'm not gonna promote anything. Just go there, you'll see what I'm working on, and that's about it.
True. Like we said at the beginning, it's more about following the people than just the projects. And I feel like this is the perfect example. Yeah. Folks, follow Steven. He does amazing stuff. He's always so much fun. I love your post, man. Thank you so much that you put out. And the music is always great. Skinny, Dave, anything you guys want to remind people about? Anything they should be checking out real quick anytime soon?
Follow me on IG at Action Figgy Skinny. I'm coming out with my top 10 or top 20 list of figures this year.
It's crazy.
Probably going to do Marvel Legends, might do Power Rangers. You know, a mix of things. So yeah, follow me, your boy.
True. Dave, anything?
Well, no, just follow me on Merc_Wood_mouth, and that's about it.
Bon, guys, that's the whole thing. I just did my list. I just submitted my list, my top 10 list for to work, because they're going to be putting stuff out on the blog. But like you said, Skinny, I'm going to probably do like a top 10. There's a whole bunch of music that I listened to in the last year that I like. I think about it and I'm just like, these are songs that literally got me through just hating everything. And when Dave mentioned the other day, like, yo, we should do a list, like a top 10 list or top 5 list of things that just helped us get through the pandemic. I'm like, done. Like, here are 5 movies I watched that made me laugh, that I really needed to laugh at the time. Here are like 5 songs I listened to that I was just like, hey, this doesn't make me want to burn the world to the ground. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that it's like true fact.
We should do the top 10 things that came and went in 2020, like Killer Bees, Tiger Shark Man, whatever that was. The
Tiger Shark Man.
Whatever that, like so many things that came and went this year. We need to do top 20 hype beast things.
True. Yo, that right there is fair. Hype beast. All right, guys, that's the whole show. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Geektastic Cypher. We'll be back with another episode next week. Make sure you tune in. Thank you for everyone who tuned in and everyone in the chat. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure you always subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we do the show live on Wednesdays at 6:30. That way you can see all our wonderful faces and kind of laugh up with all the crazy things that we do. But that's it. That's all. Thank you so much. Don't forget, check it out. freeXagents.com. That's the group. Free Agents Media is the collective. We're out. Peace, y'all. Peace.